Hi, this is David Hanson with WorldNetDaily.com. I'd like to talk to you about my new article. It's called Wedding of the Century, Occupy Wall Street and the Tea Party. As many of you have seen, Occupy Wall Street has had a significant impact already in the news. They're receiving all kinds of coverage about their protests against Wall Street's out-of-control pickpocketing of the middle class and the poor. I sympathize with some of their concerns, but I'm concerned about some of their core values. Do they actually understand how the system works? Do they understand that it's not a matter of just attacking businesses for wanting to make a profit, but rather it's about finding out how big business and big government work together to exploit the middle class and the poor? And I also talk about in the article the idea of the Tea Party. You see, the Tea Party has always said that they were always against big government, they're against the big bailouts, and they're against these lobbyists and special interests taking over the reins in the government. But you see, right now we stand on the precipice of the Tea Party actually electing Republicans that may just swagger on past any serious proposal to rein in spending in Washington. They use bumper sticker slogans, they use things that tickle people's ears, but at the end of the day, we're not seeing really any serious solutions to dramatically reduce the power of Washington from any of the major Republican contenders, well, except for a few perhaps. So I want to see, how can we bridge a gap between Occupy Wall Street and the Tea Party? I think they actually could be destined for a marriage. Now, of course, many people in Occupy Wall Street and Tea Party, sometimes when they get together, there's some arguments that happen. And, you know, there's some work we need to work on before we can get these guys to actually have a coalition. But I think we have some fertile ground to work with. You see, both of these movements distrust the mainstream media. That's a good start. Both of these movements dislike bailouts. They dislike lobbyists running our government. They dislike the continual secrecy and backroom deals that are taking place in Washington at the detriment of the middle class in America. So there's some good starting foundations from which I think we can build a coalition. But the real problem is that we have to identify what is government. I think we have to define government. George Washington was clear in his description of government. He called government a fire, a force that can be a fearsome master or a dangerous servant. And I think we have to remember, I'm paraphrasing that, now, I think we have to remember Obama has a definition that sounds just like George Washington. Obama has said at certain points that government is a monopoly of violence. So I think the real problem in our economy today is that using government, which has a monopoly on the use of violence in the economy, when Wall Street can use government to exercise force on the American people, that's how they exploit people. When they use regulations, when they use subsidies, when they use bailouts and all kinds of other types of loans the Federal Reserve gives them, that's how they get a leg up on the competition, and that's how they exploit us. So we have to define government, and we have to understand that it's not a matter of attacking capitalism. Capitalism in its purest form wouldn't allow all these leeches on Wall Street to make a buck off of people without any due process. They would have to be accountable for all of the bailouts. They wouldn't be able to get bailouts because there would be no bailout apparatus in a free market system. But of course, we're a long way from that. But the first point is we have to understand that it's government intervention in the economy which causes the problems that we're facing today. So I encourage you all, let's try to see if we can get Occupy Wall Street and the Tea Party to come together and fight the real problem attacking American people, and that's the government.